to raise Predacons attack! Where was Venator's troops?
Sometimes deception is the better part of valor.
What? Aw.
Oh. Too much energy. Maximize!
Alert. Quantum surge detected. Vector 597.
Oh, no! Not that! Ah!
Greetings, Maximals and Predacons. Welcome to episode 44 of Too Much ENERGON, the Lasercomb podcast where we talk about Beast Wars shit and talk shit about Beast Wars. I'm one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
I'm your other host, NeoCal.
So, NeoCal, did you see that Hasbro just recently, and by recently I mean a week ago, and I totally meant to talk about this on last week's podcast, but we ended up talking about the weather instead.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
For the second week in a row. But
what was it? What's this news?
The third and final chapter of the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy on Netflix, Kingdom, has a release date, finally. It's July 29th. Mm-hmm. The beasts are back, baby.
Man, when I started watching that, I had no idea it was going to tie into Beast Wars. Like, I'm sure if I Googled and researched it enough, I could have found out. But it was just a very pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah.
When I got to the end, and there was like a fucking a Cybertron Raptor eye, and I was like, what?
I very much made a point of not spoiling that for you because I wanted you to get that exact same level of shock and delight that I did.
You did a good job because holy shit, I was shocked and delighted. A realistic velociraptor.
A realistic velociraptor in the vein of Jurassic Park. So July 29th. Interestingly enough, that is also going to be the day that we record episode 50 of Too Much ENERGON.
Aw, shit.
Yeah, I know. It's like it was meant to be, right? Yeah, pretty excited about that.
Man.
The G1 characters are going to meet the Beast Wars, the beasts, the Maximals and Predacons.
On one hand, I'm like, okay, they need to explain this time bullshit, and on the other hand, I don't give a shit. Okay, the future Maximals and future Predacons are there. Cool.
Yep. That's where I'm at with it too. Speaking of G1, specifically G1 Megatron, the lesser of two Megatrons, in my opinion. Except there's actually been more than two Megatrons at this point. So GameStop in the United States has announced a new product on their website, and it is a G1 Megatron helmet. Its eyes light up. It's filled with classic G1 Megatron quotes. It's adult size, so a adult male. Well, not specifically male, but an adult male, as pictured in some of the stock photos of this thing, can easily wear it. And if you're listening to this and you haven't seen these photos, go look them up. Or in fact, you can go to the Too Much Energon Twitter account, because I find
Please do.
I find this photo so outrageously hilarious that I think it is probably going to be the Too Much Energon profile photo for the rest of eternity. I can't see something possibly beating this out. Like, there's...
Yeah, we won't describe it. Just the article's linked to on the Twitter.
Yeah. I posted a link to the article, so go check out the Too Much Energon official Too Much Energon Twitter account. It's
weird because it's G1, but it's like War for Cybertron. G1, like with his luscious lips.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's a hard sell to convince me that you can see out of that thing. It doesn't look like you can see out of it.
Well, and indeed, the eyes like glow. They're emissive. So
yeah,
like, how would you even see out of that?
Where are you seeing out of it? I don't know. I'm a little curious, but not enough to want to buy one.
Oh, God, I have the article on Cybertron.com. I have the article open on my computer right now, and right in front of me, and I'm staring at these photos, and every time I look over, I'm just like, just cracking up.
I don't know. It's just the way it's presented is so like matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's so weird seeing like a really good like replica Megatron head just on a normal dude wearing a t-shirt with his arms crossed, and like the head's like this fucking big.
And the head looks very like the Megatron head it looks like they took a stock photo of a model and then photoshopped Megatron's head onto it.
Put the fucking head on.
Oh Christ.
If we ever do more Too Much Energon art, we should try to replicate the put the guy in the background that's just like a white t-shirt, a gray t-shirt wearing the Megatron head.
I kind of want to take us to take photos of ourselves with our arms crossed now and just Photoshop that head on top of us. Or Photoshop
that could be the thumbnail for this.
Just I found a great image in the episode of that I'm going to use as the show art, and I'll point it out when we get to it. Megatron makes a pretty luxurious flourish at one point in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what
I noticed.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. But yeah, photos of us with our arms crossed in that exact same pose. We could even wear gray t-shirts.
Just generic t-shirts.
And then take various Beast Wars characters, Photoshop Optimus Primal's gorilla head onto
Why not?
one of us.
Rat Trap and Dinobot.
Yeah. Oh God. So I was thoroughly entertained by that, and I can't even put into words why. It's just
sometimes it be like that.
What is that viral quote?
People don't think it be like it is.
Yeah, but it do. Yeah.
That's probably it's an ancient meme at this point, but I can't even think of when that meme was out. But that's my favorite quotable meme. People don't think it be like it is, but it do.
But it do. It do indeed. Speaking of Megatron, for the audio listeners, to my left this week I have a original Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Megatron figure.
Where the fuck did you get that?
I found a guy. I don't know if I talked about this on the show before or not.
I don't think so. I had no idea you had that.
I found a guy kind of sort of local. I did have to travel a little bit to meet up with him, but he was selling on a classified site. He was selling individually an Optimal Optimus, which I've displayed in a previous episode of the show before. And he was also selling a Dragon Megatron. And I think Optimal Optimus he was selling for like $65, and Dragon Megatron he was selling for $60. And so I just messaged him, took a shot in the dark, and I was like, "Hey, would you take $100 for both of them?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Oh, so you have two Optimal Optimuses?
No, I have one Optimal Optimus and a Dragon Megatron. But
have you just not had that out yet? Like, have you been waiting?
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, and this
Sneaky,
was
sneaky.
This was months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. You've been waiting to bust out the Dragon Tron.
Yeah, I think this was probably back in February, maybe. Dragantron.
Dragantron.
Dragon.
Suck my dick, G1 Megatron. I'm way cooler than you.
And I need your spark to prove it. Yes.
He didn't put it back, so.
Yeah. So he's.
Doesn't that fuck with the time? We'll get into it. Look.
Yeah. Also, his spark chamber has a weird, like, spiked tongue for grabbing things.
He has, like, a weird tentacle.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about. That was weird, man.
It's strange.
Like, uncoils and...
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
strange.
We'll get into that in a minute. I do actually like this episode quite a bit, though. And I think I might like it more than Cal. Just a tad, you know? Just a wee bit.
Just a little.
Also, I realized a few minutes ago that I kind of fucked up the video and forgot to... Before I started recording, I forgot to actually maximize the video. So, I don't really know what to do about that. So the beginning of this video may end up being just a static image, or you're gonna see the inside of the Discord chat.
Either way, you're welcome.
Yeah, either way, we are delivering content with minimal effort. We could go back and re-record all of this, but we don't want to. No.
No. We've already spent one megacycle getting this far to begin with.
95 clicks. Yes.
Oh.
It's warm in here.
Master Blaster.
Master Blaster.
It sounds like a toy from the 90s. Master Blaster.
Master Blaster is from something.
It is. It's vaguely familiar.
Master Blaster is from Mad Max.
There we go. I'm trying to think.
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Master is the brains and Blaster is the brawn when it comes to running the massive methane power plant, Underworld, located underneath Bartertown. Master exercises his will, while Blaster uses his imposing size to keep the workers in line.
Sounds great.
From the Mad Max wiki. So it's like, it's a big dude with a midget riding on his shoulder. Whoops. A little person.
Yeah.
I don't think the word that I let slip is
You didn't use it in malice.
no,
right?
No.
Yeah.
No. But I still don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone. So
I speak like Borderlands uses that term for a lot of their little enemies.
Really?
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but Like they, you know how like there are psychos, the
Oh
guys
yeah,
with like
yeah.
the masks and the axes, and they like scream and they like run at you. Most of the enemies you fight are psychos.
Yeah.
There are psycho little people. So that yes,
Yeah.
that word is phasing out, but a lot of people are unaware that it's a relic
Yeah.
of the past. Yeah.
Yep. It was just a slip of the tongue in my case.
Oh, a slip of the chest tentacle, if you will.
Yes. And
I still can't believe that's even a thing. I'm gonna have nightmares of Megatron's chest testicle. Chesticle? Yeah, let's
chesticle
go with that.
or
I have
chesticles.
so many questions about this episode. Yeah, speaking of the episode, it
Do we
opens up.
do we want to get started?
Do we want? Yeah. Let's
We'll get
jump.
we'll
jump
get
into
started
it.
in a brief second. Just a minute here, but before we do that, here's a word about Patreon. Do you want to hear more Lasercomb content each week? Is one episode of Too Much Energon or Alphanumeric just not enough? Then subscribe to the Lasercomb Patreon, where starting at a mere $5 Canadian per month, you get exclusive bonus recordings of Christopher Siege, NeoCal, and AP Snidler shooting the shit, access to the Lasercomb Discord, monthly shoutouts, and more. Higher tiers include bonus video content, the ability to pitch future podcast content to us, a free t-shirt, and more. Support Too Much Energon and Alphanumeric by joining the Lasercomb Patreon today. Alright, this is episode 44 of Too Much Energon, and this week we are talking about the 10th episode of Season 3 of Beast Wars, Master Blaster, which, as we just discovered, is a reference to a couple of characters from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And now that I know that, the title kind of makes sense, given what goes on in the episode.
Does it?
A little bit.
Sure.
Episode originally aired on February 28th, 1999. And
It was a good year.
It was a good year for film. One of the best years for film, in my opinion. We had Fight Club, The Matrix,
Not even just those two.
being John Malkovich.
That was 99?
Yeah. And a whole slew of other films that
It's weird, but I fucking like it. Being John Malkovich. So
Yeah.
fucking weird. Like, what a weird concept. It's like, okay, John Malkovich, the actor, you're going to play yourself. And there's going to be a cult that has access to a magical room where people can see through your eyes.
for 15 minutes at a time, and then they are ejected from your brain over top of the New Jersey Turnpike.
Like 10 feet up in the air, they fall into a ditch.
Yeah.
It deals with a portal and
Yeah. It was one of the first like kind of strange movies that I ever saw. I was like 14 when it came out.
I was too young to appreciate it. I
I
think I watched it when I was like 12, 13, 14. And I was like, what's going on? I don't know. And
See-
didn't like commit all the way through it.
see I was 14 when I first saw it, and I think like that was the perfect time for me to see a movie like that. Cuz like I
You think
just
so?
like I really just reveled in how strange it was.
Oh, what was it? It took me for it. I waited until I was like 16, 17. Not waited, but just because it was a film that my grandma kept trying to get me to watch, Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah.
So
I saw that when it was a new release when I was like 10. Yep. I liked it.
Oh, you liked it as a 10-year-old. Interesting.
Yeah. I I think I may have mentioned it on this podcast before, but when I was a kid, like for TV generally, other than Star Trek, I pretty much watched like kids shows, but movies I primarily watched like grown-up movies. I didn't really watch a lot of children's films.
Yeah. Well, The Green Mile came out. House on Haunted Hill. I made my partner watch House on Haunted Hill. They did not think it was good.
I don't think it's a terribly well-regarded film.
No, I mean, what else came out in '99? What was the one with the kid that sees like Bruce Willis ghost?
Oh, The Sixth Sense.
Is that like '99, 2000?
I think that was 1999, yeah.
What really fucked me up? Because I would have been 13-ish. Oh, I think I watched The Blair Witch Project. That came out in '99 or '98-ish.
It was 90. It was 98, I think.
'98.
Oh, Existenz, which was a.
Oh my god.
That's a.
Cronenberg.
Yeah, that's a weird movie.
So weird.
Um,
Can't believe that came out the same year as The Matrix. They have similar themes.
They do have similar themes. They just go about them in very different ways.
So different. I love both of those movies.
Oh, The Mummy.
One much more than the other. The Mummy? Man, what a fucking year.
Mystery.
What a year.
Mystery Men. Office Space.
Oh, Mystery Men?
Payback, which is not a movie a lot of people remember at this point.
Is
but
that
it's Mel Gibson?
I remember it. Yeah, it was. I remember liking it.
It's fun, yeah.
Bicentennial Man.
Sleepy Hollow, which is personally my favorite film of Tim Burton's.
I like it. Fucking, what was it? It's like the final reveal of the movie. It's like Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman, and you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? What?
Oh, here we go. Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West.
The Talented Mr. Ripley.
American Pie.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Anyway, so 1999 in film. It was.
What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive in 14, which is what I was. And when I wasn't watching any of those movies that we just named, what I was doing was watching Beast Wars, specifically this episode.
Yep, this episode starts with Silverbolt like patrolling the outside of the Ark mountain base.
Yep.
Like a British soldier.
Which we've never seen him do before.
Never seen anyone do.
Eh.
Again, I don't understand why they don't just have the autocannons on all the time.
Power, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Sure.
But yeah, he's like walking back and forth.
So
like a palace guard.
And the Predacons show up, and they appear to be carrying some like big contraption. And Megatron tells Waspinator that he will be sub-commander of this mission, and Waspinator is in beast mode carrying this like giant like Acme missile, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And Waspinator is all like, "Oh, Waspinator, make Megatron proud." And Megatron's like, "Yes, I'm sure you will."
Yes.
And you hear like snickering in the back, like the Predacons just like giggling.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, there's some kind of shenanigans are going on. And inside the Ark Mountain base, Cheetor and Rat Trap are like carrying some shit around, moving boxes.
It's like
around.
comically huge.
Yeah,
giant piles of boxes and something.
Yeah, it's like they're playing Death Stranding.
I I still need to play that.
It's I'm fond of it. I'm like, we reference Metal Gear in almost every podcast we ever record. So I dig Kojima's work.
Well, that's his first, because he had butted heads with
Konami.
Konami, because like he's their intellectual like workhorse, but like he's also very zany,
Yeah.
and it was a matter of time. So like Death Stranding is a very good, very pretty like first game for a new studio.
Death Stranding is very much Kojima unhinged. It's Kojima like being out Kojima-ing Kojima. There's some bananas shit in that game, and I'm there for it.
Yeah, he stole Guillermo del Toro and
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus from PT.
Yeah.
And took them to make Death Stranding.
Yeah, they were supposed to make a Silent Hill reboot, and then Konami was like, we're just gonna cancel that, just cause.
You know how stoked I fucking was for that?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, Guillermo del Toro, Norman like Reedus, the style changed too, right? That very up close that we got to see in Biohazard somewhat, right? Very up close, everything's detailed, claustrophobic. Like
Yeah.
PT was freaky shit, man.
Yeah. For a demo, the thing is it's a demo, and it's still like one of the best games of the past decade.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. But you can't get it anymore. I have it stowed away on a flash drive.
You have a special, well, there are secret ways of getting it. But you can't download it from the PlayStation Store.
No, even if you've most of the time, if you've downloaded something before and it gets delisted, you can still re-download it. You can't do that with PT. Hence why I've kept it on a flash drive for all these years.
Yeah, it says PT, and he keeps it in like a little lockbox up on the top of his shelf.
You're actually not far off. Actually, I should transfer it over, because the flash drive that I have it on is like a decade old at this point. So I would be very sad if it were to fail.
Yeah, move it onto something a little hardier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Waspinator like flies this like missile over to Arc Mountain, and like the auto guns come online, I guess. Finally.
Yeah, Optimus says auto guns online.
Yeah.
This is what confuses me. The auto guns are online, but Silverbolt is outside manning one of the guns manually.
Perhaps it's like a Tesla. Like, it has like auto drive capability,
But it kind of...
but you can still take control of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Tesla cannon.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So the giant Acme bomb that Waspinator's carrying, Silverbolt sucks, so he misses every shot at Waspinator. Waspinator drops the bomb on him.
In this case, he misses 100% of the shots he does take.
Yeah. That'll teach him. And the giant Acme bomb like comically blows up the turret that Silverbolt's in. And Silverbolt.
Yeah.
And the Maximals run out.
And
this is actually funny.
yeah,
I enjoyed this.
Waspinator transforms, and we actually hear him say Waspinator terrorize, which we haven't heard him say in a long time. Probably since season 1.
Good point.
Yeah. So he transforms and is like, Predacons, attack! And he does this like flying like kick thing, like downward. And no one comes. No one comes to his aid.
And he stops and he's like, "Where's Rospinator's troops?" And I'm like, "Oh, sweet summer child."
And like Optimus is kind of like raises an eyebrow. He's like, and then just smacks him, squishes him like a
Yeah,
bug.
like
Yeah. And
then like a cartoon, he becomes a flat 2D version of himself and falls to the ground.
yeah,
And then like
they like Looney Tunes over at
They do.
Mainframe.
and then Tarantulas like has like a blowgun. Like a future blowgun.
Yeah. And yeah, it shoots this thing that like burrows into Optimal Optimus's foot. And we actually get to see the inside of a Transformer's body,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
Because it digs into him and then it like crawls around
Yeah.
and all of his circuitry and like mechanical parts. It's
Yeah.
like a weird virus spider thing.
Yeah, it, like it gets to his spark and then like what looks like an energon blade comes out and it like sticks right into his spark. It's
Disgusting.
yeah, kind of. And
Fucking Tarantulas, man.
Optimus then starts like acting all weird and sounding like
And
Quickstrike.
twitchy.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot like Quickstrike, huh?
Yeah, imagine that. And then Optimus.
Oh, by the way, the little virus has a radar dish that
Oh,
shoots
yeah.
a signal out.
Yeah. So
And his spark turns green. Ooh.
Quickstrike is clearly controlling Optimus now, and Quickstrikemus.
Strike him, sure.
Optimal Quickstrike.
Oh, fuck. He will never be optimal.
So Optimal Quickstrike gives the order to Rat Trap to get Silverbolt back into Arc Mountain into the CR chamber, and he radios Rhinox and tells Rhinox to order all field units back to base. And then Cheetor is like, "Oh, well, what do you want me to do, Big Bot?" And keep in mind that in this shot here, Rat Trap is still like very much in view.
You actually see him moving in the background.
Yeah. So
For
he's
a brief moment.
So, long story short, Optimal Quickstrike punches Cheetor and knocks him out. Rat Trap still would have been in view, like within eye shot of all of this.
I didn't notice that the first time I watched it.
I noticed that the second, because I watched it for the first time on Monday, and then I watched it again today, like a couple hours before we started recording. And yeah, so that's dumb.
Black Arachnia, you know what? This form is growing on me.
You know what I actually noticed earlier today, because there's a couple moments later on in the episode where Black Arachnia literally like web slings like Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
She has a similar color scheme to Spider-Man 2099.
I was just thinking that the chromatic blue and red.
Yeah.
Weird, yeah. That just popped up in my head. I was like, isn't like future Spider-Man that color?
Yeah, and her legs on her back like kind of like flow, just like I don't know, Spider-Man 2099 has these weird like web wings type things sticking out of his back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at a picture of him just to make sure I'm not crazy.
I
Spider-Man
know what you mean.
2099.
Helps him glide or whatever.
Yeah, he's got this like torn like webbing coming out of his back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia, very, very evocative of Spider-Man 2099, and I kind of wonder if it was intentional now.
I noticed that this time. Oh, jeez, excuse me. This time it's almost like she's like wearing like a barbarian thong and like a red top, whereas before she was all just kind of black and gold.
Yeah,
Almost seems like she's wearing boots and clothes and like a helmet.
a barbarian thong.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Also a wrestler thong, if you will.
Yeah, a very, very womanly loincloth.
Yeah.
I was gonna say manly, but I'm like, wait, she's not a man. She can still be manly, damn it.
So she walks through the ship because she or walks through the base, and she's kind of suspicious.
Yeah, because the lights
she-
are out.
She can't find anyone. When she goes up the elevator, there's a voice that says "bridge."
Yeah,
What is that?
bridge.
It sounds almost like Rhinox.
Yeah, and
You
it's
heard
like,
it too?
yeah, it's not the maximal computer voice, because that's just the dude who does the voice of Cheetor doing a slightly different voice.
Yeah. Is it her computer?
I don't know, but we've never heard this voice before.
I was so thrown off by it. I thought Rhinox was like in the background somewhere,
Yeah,
like luring her to get to the bridge.
yeah,
I-
yeah. So that's new. And yeah, it made me laugh earlier. Bridge.
Bridge.
Uh,
Yeah. So she goes and fiddles around.
yeah, and she's
And,
greeted by
Optimus.
Optimal Quickstrike. And yeah, they exchange some banter, and he like grabs her and picks her up, and she's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And he's all like, "Sugar bot." And
Yeah, and he's all like, "Where depth charge? I ordered you both back to base." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, depth charge exists."
And-
He doesn't even need to be in the show, and indeed, he is not in this episode.
no, he's just mentioned, and yeah, he doesn't come to help or anything. Like
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah,
It was going to be him showing up again and like saving the day. No,
yeah,
I don't understand where he would be. His whole thing before was he's hunting down Rampage.
yeah. And Rampage is here, so
What the fuck is he doing? And his ship is exploded. Ship is destroyed. He's under the sea, under the sea.
and yeah, as I just alluded to, all the Predacons are in Arc Mountain now. And
Yeah, Black Arachne is like grape face. I should have known.
grape face.
But yeah, they're just there.
Yeah, they're just there. The Maximals are all unconscious in a cage that's suspended above them for some reason.
And it's shown that Quickstrike is controlling Optimus by being in a hovering giant mechanical suit.
Yeah, that's kind of looks like a dollar store version of Optimal Optimus.
Like a transmorpher, if you will.
Yeah, a transmorpher.
And I was like, wouldn't that have been like much easier if you were in like a VR rig?
A robot animal warrior.
Robot animal warrior.
That's the dollar store version of Beast Wars. Robot animal warriors.
Cheetah Man.
Yeah, Cheetah Man.
Tarantula Man. Gorilla Man.
Ape leader.
Ape leader. Young cheetah. Sarcastorat.
Sarcastorat. Or just like rat face or something.
Rat face. Yeah. We're giving. Yeah, I don't want to give them too much credit.
Yeah.
Rhino hide.
Probably Raptor bot.
Raptor bot. Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow. Like that's all it would be. But Black Widow as one word.
Yeah, Tiger bot. Robot animal warriors. And on the packaging, it's like, oh, what would be a good like shitty dollar store slogan instead of more than meets the eye, or it would be like
from animal to robot warrior before your very eyes.
There you go. And then it has like a really shitty like little like Photoshop of like a realistic like animal like it doesn't look like the toy at all transforming into the robot.
Ape Leader is just like a picture of like a stock
chip.
No, Ape Leader is like a stock photo of like a dude with his arms crossed.
Colored gray
with like a chimpanzee head photoshopped.
I'm glad that we can amuse ourselves with this fake toy line.
Oh, I can't believe actually how much I'm cracking up here. I'm like crying. Oh.
Robot animal warriors.
Maybe I'll release like I'll like take that bit of the podcast and then release that as like promo audio.
Oh yeah, that could work. People listening are like, why is this so funny to them? It's the same reason why we think just like a random dude with a Photoshop G1 face on him is funny.
Oh.
I kind of want to just like make a little prototype of this like animal warrior robots.
Oh. And like the font is like Comic Sans. Oh.
And like the little like picture of the fully transformed robot, some of them don't really look like the transformed version because like that was like their prototype and they ended up like just making something else entirely.
Yeah.
You've been to the dollar store. Sometimes
yeah,
you like look at the packaging and it would be like way cooler than what the toy actually was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they got a hold of the like someone stole like the original prototype of like a G.I. Joe figure or something like that. And
the alpha design, see?
Yeah, and they used that as like the promo photo, and then they just like made like a shitty like knockoff version of that.
Yeah.
Man, I used to back in the 90s there was this like G.I. Joe rip-off toy line at dollar stores called The Core.
I fucking know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
As far as like shitty like rip-off dollar store toys go, like that was probably like top tier.
Yeah.
Like the Core, like those weren't bad.
Yeah.
They weren't great.
What more do you want?
They weren't nearly.
And their joints just had an elastic going through them that connected their arm to their other arm. Yeah. Same with their legs.
Yeah, they didn't have as much articulation as G.I. Joe figures, and the paint jobs were never as good, and the like GI Joe figures would often have like fabric detail and stuff like that on them. These figures didn't.
No, no, they had each limb moved a little bit, and then its like head kind of did, but not really because it was all connected by an elastic.
Yeah, it would just like turn side to side.
Yeah, it would just turn side to side, but if you let it go, it would just kind of shift back.
Yeah. But they were the same size as GI Joe, actual GI Joes, so like they at least scaled well, so you could put them in GI Joe vehicles and shit like that.
One of my favorite things was when you had like sandbox like dump trucks and stuff, was finding like figures that could like fit into the driver seats.
Oh
of them
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I don't know why, but in my head I was like, well, I need a toy to be able to drive this. Can't drive itself. Not crazy. This isn't a transformer.
I was gonna say.
This isn't a transmorpher.
This isn't a robot animal warrior.
But that's what Quickstrike looks here. And indeed,
yeah.
he has a little microphone and a monitor in front of him so he could see out of Optimus's eyes and speak out of his mouth.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a really expensive way when they could have just made him a VR rig. But this is the 90s.
Yeah. Well, they have, I mean, we saw Tigatron go on season 1 go on a like VR like vision quest through the Predacon computer.
Oh, when he was like fucking cyber hacking
Yeah,
into the Predacon base. Yeah.
Yeah, to
That
learn
was
about
super trippy.
Yeah, to learn about the golden disc. And it
It
even
was some
had
lawnmower man shit.
it even had the like the like disembodied hands that you get in VR too.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Was that just something he could do, or wait? No, he had like a rig on his head, didn't he? Like goggles or something.
He
Or did he just plug?
he plugged something into the side of his head, and like I think like a little visor came down.
Maybe it
over
was
his
just a
eyes.
visor. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. That was a while ago now. And
But apparently that happens in virtual space. In real life, you need a giant, expensive-looking
dollar
robot.
store toy.
Yeah, so like you said, all the Maximals are in a cage and they look all beat up.
And yeah, Megatron like tells Dinobot, who I swear I've watched this episode twice now. I swear he says Dinobot.
I think he says Dinobot.
Like the subtitle says Dinobot, but like I said, I've watched this episode twice now, and both times I've heard Megatron say Dinobot. Maybe I'm crazy.
He says
but...
Dinobot.
So he tells Dinobot to go and find Depth Charge and dispose of him, and then we never see Dinobot again for the episode. So, is this like the evil?
And why does
version?
he think that he could take Depth Charge alone?
Is this like the evil version of the Lone Raptorbot Chronicles? Because like now I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know like what's like what
got up to
what Dinobot got up to in his search for Depth Charge, because we don't see either or hear from either of them in this episode beyond this.
They have their own story.
Yep.
Happening in the background.
Yep.
There's one line from Megatron. He says, "Oh wow, 6 little Maximals. Well, I've almost collected the whole set." And I was like,
yeah, that
Do you hear that, kids? There's 6. Maybe you should buy them all. And no, Depth Charge doesn't count.
Yep, that made me chuckle. Gotta catch them all.
Got to catch them all. Oh, it's not
Cheers.
the only Pokemon like motif in this episode.
Megatron then orders Inferno to go after Black Arachnia, who has now escaped. And then he does this like fabulous like flourish, where he like extends his hand, his open hand, upward to the camera. It's if you're curious, it's at about 8:20 on Tubi.
Okay, so Rampage like grabs Black Arachnia.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Is
gonna.
it before she gets away?
This is after she gets away. Like I said, it's at around 8:21, 8:21 on Tubi.
Inferno, guard our guests.
The Ark awaits. I'm gonna make that the art for this episode.
He has a flair for drama.
Yep. He's a very theatrical individual, one might say.
Yeah. It's interesting. Him and Optimus, Quickstrike controlling Optimus.
Optimal Quickstrike.
Yeah, they fly out to the entrance of the Ark.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Give me the access codes now."
And Optimal Quickstrike tries to do the like data eye laser thing to transfer the Teletron 1 access codes to Megatron, but it fails immediately because Optimal's onboard computer is like transfer aborted or something like that. Maximal energy signature required.
Mm-hmm.
So Optimus has taken precautions. Yes. But
Well,
no
fuck
matter.
you.
But no matter. The key is in my hand. And then
I see that you have Norton antivirus. Yes. No matter. It doesn't work anyway.
I actually have Norton antivirus.
Why would you do such a thing to your poor computer?
It came with my motherboard.
Oh God. And it will never leave.
It's I don't have too many problems with it.
That's good.
So Megatron just orders Optimal Quickstrike to just access Teletron 1 directly.
Yeah.
It's
If
like-
he can't take the key, then
It's like, well,
that also means. Go ahead.
yeah, it's like, well, like he can't do anything with it directly, but like he can still just order Quickstrike to do it. So
That also means that. That also means that he can't get the golden disc info from Optimus, right?
yeah,
Like he can't just get it scanned into him.
yeah.
Interesting.
And yeah, they open the door to the Ark and go in, and then cut back to Rampage, like trying to step on Black Arachnia, saying some like serial killer shit to her.
Rampage says some serial killer shit.
Like straight up, he's just like, struggle as much as you want. I'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's like, says something about like he'll live to regret something, and he's like, I regret everything. And I'm like, do you? Because it doesn't seem like you do.
It seems like he regrets nothing.
Yeah. So I was a little confused by that line.
It's interesting though. I wish they explored him a bit more, but maybe we've already seen all that character has to offer.
Maybe, yeah,
I
maybe
find him interesting.
maybe he, like deep down, doesn't necessarily want to kill, but he's just compelled to.
I find that, yeah.
And enjoys it in the moment, but then afterward he's like, oh, I really shouldn't have done that.
It's an interesting line.
Yeah.
It makes you contemplate his existence a little.
And
Then Black Arachnia does some perplexing shit, man.
yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of whatever, Black Arachnia. So you remember a couple episodes ago, I was like, "What the fuck?" Cheetor has like weird like spider sense now,
But
involving.
only one time, and
But
we've never seen it again.
or prior to that, it seems to be like a Transmetal 2 thing. His like spark will go green, and then he just knows that danger is imminent.
Right.
Well, it appears Black Arachnia also has some Transmetal 2, like green spark power, because she's able to
Her
tell it.
eyes go green.
And we then on her chest we see her spark come out and glows green, and she's able to Jean Grey like this steel beam that's just randomly chilling out on the floor, and like telepathically or telekinetically hurl it at Rampage. And I'm like, okay, so Transmetal 2s have like some sort of hidden superpower.
Hidden psychic superpower.
And I'm not necessarily against that, but the show hasn't explained that at all.
No.
It hasn't even attempted to. It's just like,
Also, Black Arachnia she doesn't seem surprised that she did this out of instinct. She just she did it on purpose. So
Yeah.
we're to believe that she off screen she's realized that she could do this already.
yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
And I mean, they're made Transmetal 2s by the Transmetal Driver, which is a plot device that is never explained, but we know it's of alien origin, so I'm on board with it giving them like weird like superpowers. I just wish
Because it's alien, right?
Because it's alien tech, so sure. And these aliens seem to be like all powerful and omniscient. And
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm okay.
they create, for all intents and purposes, like in the universe of the Transformers, they created Earth.
But
Sorry,
there
Planet
needs to be a
Energon.
little planet. There needs to be a little bit of explanation, though, right? Like
No, there needs to be a lot of explanation.
but I mean, we're not even given a little.
No,
We're given none, and
Yeah.
there needs to be a lot. Now when they made so who's a Transmetal 2? Is technically Dinobot,
Yes.
and then we've got Cheetor
Yep.
and Black Arachnia.
Yep.
Is that it right now?
I
want to say yes.
Yeah.
So Dinobot was like Frankenstein, a lab experiment with the Transmetal Driver.
Yeah.
Cheetor was like an accident. He interacted with the energy by mistake.
Yeah.
And his was like a werewolf, right? So they're all kind of like monster origins. Frankenstein, werewolf. We didn't really get that with Black Arachnia. I thought it was going to be like a monster flavor for each Transmetal 2.
Maybe she's Bride of Frankenstein because she did die and it revived her.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so you got Frankenstein, you got Frankenstein's monster, you got like Cheetah,
Yeah.
and then you got Bride of Frankenstein. So there's like a kind of a monster theme going on here.
Yeah.
But
I never actually thought of that.
Yeah. But I only thought about it earlier when I was watching the episode. I understand Dinobot and Cheetor. I know I won't get answers, but it still bothers me that it just like magically came over and bestowed its gift to Black Arachnia. It's like, hey, bitch, you dead. How about some Transmetal?
Yeah, we well, I complained about that extensively last week.
Yeah, you really didn't.
I was not a fan. It was a good episode overall, I think, but I wasn't a fan of that.
No.
No. Yeah, so she Jean Grey's one of these steel beams into Rampage, knocks him off her, and we cut back to inside the Ark, and Megatron and Optimal Quickstrike encounter the body of G1 Megatron.
They go back into the Ark.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because I'm like, oh shit, we're going back in here. Like,
Yeah.
the Maximals kind of stay out. Like, they're like, hey, we can't fuck with time too much, guys.
Yeah.
So we're back in here. And
Yeah.
the first thing I thought he would do is shoot Optimus again.
Which, it's a good point. Like, there's no one
That's
there to
what
stop him.
Don't shoot him again, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that his goal?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, yeah, the Megatron thing is important, but like, he's only attacking the mountain and the Ark and engaging into Beast Wars right now to take out Optimus Prime.
Mhm.
Right? So what the fuck is he doing fucking around with his chesticle? Trying to mess with Megatron. In fact, isn't that bad? Because if he's messing with Megatron, that could make things worse for the Predacons. So I was so perplexed why he didn't go and blast a hole in Optimus's head again.
And this is like, I mean, if he like fucks with the timeline on the Autobot side of things, it's like, yeah, okay, he's a Predacon, whatever, that's just gonna work in his favor. But fucking with G1 Megatron's spark, like, that could potentially endanger his life.
And then have a time paradox in where
Megs, you can't do that. You'll create a time paradox. Why, yes, that's what I want to do. Yes.
I was very confused. And I'm like, well, hold up. There should be a time storm again, right? Because when they had shot and critically wounded Optimus Prime, it created a time vortex.
But I guess in this case, like,
But-
providing he returns that spark to G1 Megatron unscathed at some point, nothing.
Then everything will technically be fine.
Yes, no actual paradox has been created yet.
It's just perplexing to me that all this shenanigans and shit are happening like during their like long sleep, and that they wake up Teletran 1 multiple times to access the computer, but only when the volcano goes off millions of years in the future does Teletran wake up and go, oh, time to give you disguises.
Yeah. Time to go find F-16s and red Peterbilt semi-trucks.
So it's
And a
weird
gun.
that all these
And a gun for some perplexing reason.
oh yeah, fucking gun. Just a gun. Or my would it be hilarious though if like there was like a rework of like G1? And can you imagine Teletran 1 like wakes up all the Decepticons again first?
Technically, War for Cybertron is kind of a rework of G1. It's like a retelling of the G1 continuity.
I'm curious to see, because it's the opposite now. The Preds and the Maximals are already on the planet, but then the Ark and the Nemesis are landing?
Yeah. So
that's wild.
They're definitely going a different way with it, but
it'd be funny if there was like another copy of G1 them there.
Oh yeah, just already on the planet.
But like on Optimus and like Megatron and the rest of their faces, there's like dicks drawn on them and like graffiti. The Rat Trap was here. Like
Yeah.
shit all over them.
So Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron
It goes over to G1 Megatron.
Yeah, Beast Wars Megatron is like, Optimal Optimus became optimal with the spark of Optimus Prime. Yes, imagine what G1 Megatron's spark could do to me. Ho ho!
perfect logic, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it makes sense. He moved the spark. Optimus held the spark for a while, changed, so
you could make the argument, like, the argument could be made that the reason why that happened was because of the Matrix. Like, the Matrix being bonded to G1 Optimus's spark, and that's why Optimal Optimus became Optimal Optimus.
see, that's what I thought.
Too many Optimuses.
Too many Optimuses.
Too
How many
much
Poke
Optimus.
evolution? Too much Optimus. That's what I thought. I thought it was the Matrix of Leadership was like, oh, holy shit. I need a hero.
Time for an
Right?
upgrade.
Yeah.
The Matrix is like to Optimus Primal, you got the touch! You got the power! Yeah!
Yeah. I felt like it.
Yeah.
They should have played that in the background. But no, instead they had him like American Werewolf in Paris, like fucking like transform in agony in the corner.
Yeah.
They should have made it majestic, like when Hot Rod became Rodimus Prime. But anyways,
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
this is a lot less glorious.
Yeah, so, yeah, like I said, you could... that was my original assumption, too, was that Optimus Primal got the upgrade more because of the Matrix, and not...
We said that when we reviewed the episode.
Yeah, not specifically just because it was G1 Optimus's Prime Spark. But Megatron clearly thinks that, I guess, Spark fucking G1 Megatron will give him an upgrade too. So he opens up his chest piece, and we actually get to see his Spark, I think for the first time. I don't think we've ever seen Beast Wars Megatron Spark before.
Yeah, even Quickstrike in in Prime Optimal's body is like, this don't seem right, boss.
Yeah.
He's like, quit being a pussy. Now watch my chest tentacle go to work.
Yeah, the one time where Quickstrike is like weirdly the voice of reason in a situation.
I was gonna say, this must be the only time.
Yeah, what a... So yeah, he opens his chest up and we see his spark, and coiled around it is this like long like tongue or like tentacle type thing with a mechanical spikes all over it.
It has spikes. It's gruesome looking. The inside of his chest is scary.
Yeah.
It looks like a web creature.
Yeah, kinda. And so this like his spark tentacle like uncoils and like goes over and opens G1 Meg. He presses a button to open.
Gingerly presses a button
to open G1 Megatron's spark chamber. And like, what possible reason would Beast Wars Megatron have, like, logistically, for having this weird like spark tongue? Like, I
don't know, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Maybe a self-defense mechanism. If someone tries to fuck with a spark, it's wrapped up in this, and it could freak out and attack. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of big themes around Megatron. For example, let's say Tarantulas tried to take over Megatron. Right?
Yeah.
Send that little weird fucking robot into his... presumably, this thing would swat it.
For the audio listeners, I'm like flapping my arm around.
Oh yeah, we're waving our arms around like tentacles.
Yeah.
Yes. So presumably, I think it's a self-defense thing because Predacons are
I'm
more harsher, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's got like razor wire on it, so like if Tarantulas did anything like that to him, this thing could crush it.
Yeah.
No tampering with this bad boy Spark.
Okay, you've sold me. I'm with you on this.
It's a Predacon-ish thing to do, right?
Cheers. And yeah,
And
so Spark.
while his chest dick is like freaking out, Megatron's grunting,
Yeah,
and he pulls it into his chest, and he becomes one. He becomes one with his hero.
yeah.
I have a question: Is
Okay.
Optimus experiencing this,
Uh,
or do you
ye-
think he's like unconscious during this?
no, I think he knows because later on, when he comes to, he knows that Tarantulas has betrayed Megatron.
So okay,
Because
so
remember,
he's
he
John Malkovich, but in his own body.
yeah, yeah.
He's witnessing everything Quickstrike is witnessing.
Yeah, he just doesn't have any control over it. Yeah, because like right away when he becomes himself again, he immediately tells Black Arachnia that Tarantulas has betrayed Megatron. So he must be consciously aware of what's going on.
That's kind of nightmarish for me. The idea
Yeah,
of like someone else controlling me, but like me being stuck at the ending of spoilers for John Malkovich. Um,
22-year-old movie
um,
on this podcast about a 25-year-old cartoon.
the protagonist fucks some shit up, and he ends up getting stuck inside somebody's head, viewing their experiencing what they're experiencing, but just kind of like through a lens, being unable to interact with anyone or talk to anybody.
Well, yeah, what happens is John Cusack's character, who is a puppeteer by trade. So
Which means he can magically mentally teach himself to.
sure, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the crux of when people go through this like portal on the seventh and a half floor
Oh,
of this
right.
office building, yeah, yeah, it's such a delightfully strange film. Um, but yeah, when people go through this portal, they end up in the head of John Malkovich for, and like they can just watch, but they can't really like do anything, but they can see the world through John Malkovich's eyes, like
But for an exact amount of time,
15 minutes exactly. It's 15 minutes exactly, and then
and
they're
it kicks him out.
ejected over top of the New Jersey Turnpike. But
The
John
puppeteer learns how to go longer
and
and
longer,
longer.
and eventually he learns how to control John Malkovich. And he actually lives his life as John Malkovich, who then decides to become John Malkovich, the puppeteer.
Right.
Yeah,
Jesus.
so he uses John Malkovich's fame to advance his own like uh, aspirations as a professional puppeteer. Um, but and he spends, I think it's in the film, I think it's like spends like 8 months controlling John Malkovich.
A long time. He's essentially settled in.
Yeah. And eventually, I can't remember how, but eventually he gets kicked out, and you find out that John Malkovich was like aware of all of this going on, but he just wasn't able to.
Watching someone else control him in horror.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's nightmarish to me,
yeah.
man. I don't like that.
And so that's what's going on here with Quickstrike and Optimus Primal.
Nightmare fuel, man.
Yeah,
We find out, like you said, we find out Quickstrike and Tarantulas are in cahoots.
which I'm like, finally, Tarantulas is back, baby. Tarantulas is back trying to usurp Megatron. Thank fucking Christ.
And now we know why he came back, I guess.
Yeah.
What was his plan here, though?
I think
Get rid of Megatron. Then what?
he was trying to blow up the Ark to destroy both the Autobots and Decepticons.
Isn't that bad for him?
That will get addressed.
Okay, then. Because
No,
I remember he was a Decepticon
he was a member.
spy.
He was a member of the Predacon secret police. I actually remember Like
Oh.
there's a plot detail that comes up in one of the upcoming episodes, and there's only like 2 episodes left after this, so very
Oh,
soon.
jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll figure it out.
So it'll come up, and when it does come up, you'll be like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
Well, now we know why like Tarantulas is just suddenly just back with the. I'm surprised Megatron took him back, but I guess he's too much of a genius, too much of a like the resource of Tarantulas's inventions and his schemes is too good to turn your back on.
Right.
So my headcanon is that Tarantula said, "Oh, like I wish to join you and your blah blah blah," and he was all like, "Very well, but you must prove your loyalty." And that's when the Dino in those remote controlled Transmetal Dino.
Oh,
Raptors.
yeah.
So that was in my headcanon. That was his gift to Megatron to get him back in his good books.
Your tribute, mighty Megatron.
Yeah, yeah. And then he's like, "Very good, Lieutenant." Why not?
Yeah. So yeah.
You want to prove your loyalty? Of course. Suck my dick. What? You heard me.
Opens up his like spark chamber. So Optimal Quickstrike as Megatron is like on the ground, like presumably after he's just orgasmed from tentacling it up with G1 Megatron Spark. He's like on
Him
the ground.
and G1 Megs became one.
Yeah. So he's like on the ground, and Optimal Quickstrike picks him up by the foot, and he's like, "What are you doing? I'm taking over." So yeah.
How ambitious.
Yeah, Quickstrike betrays Megatron, and
I didn't think he'd have balls.
well, he was going to work with Tarantulas in and Black Arachnia.
You're right.
In season 2, so he clearly isn't all that loyal to Megatron. He's just working for him.
He likes mixing it up.
He's just working for Megatron because that's like really the only gig in town at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, technically, he's not even a Predacon or a Maximal. He's just like a Fusor that woke up and got adopted by the Predacons.
Yeah, and just decided that,
he was an asshole, so he became a Predacon.
Yeah, what in tarnation? I'm an asshole, and they like assholes on this
What
team.
lets me be more of an asshole cowboy? The Maximals or the Predacons? Why, if you join the Predacons, you could shoot as many Maximals as you like. Yeehaw! Also, you're the first one here. I like your style.
Pretty much.
Yeah, oh, right. Megatron lied to them, and he's like, "You're both Predacons, don't you remember?"
Yeah.
Right. Well, this is revenge for lying for me. Into the lava you go.
Yeah. And so Black Arachnia is in beast mode, on top of the cage that the Maximals are housed in, and she like lures Inferno away.
Yeah.
And Quickstrike takes Optimal Quickstrike takes Megatron, still holding him by the leg upside down, flies over some lava and lets him go, drops him into the hot lava.
And he splashes down into it as if it's made of water.
Yep. And he sticks his head back out, and he's all like, "No!" And then he slowly sinks down.
We get the shot in the intro of his hand, like, spiraling in.
Yeah.
Almost expected, like, a thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah, kinda. And yeah, I think this is where we find out that Quickstrike's working with Tarantulas, and they go back into the Ark, and
he's like, "Good work, partner," and Tarantulas is like, Yes, partners.
Now give me access to Teletron 1.
Uh-huh.
And he sets up a bomb. He sets or the core of the arc to overload
Right.
in what is it 100 clicks.
Yeah. I don't know why he didn't set it for like 30. Maybe it takes 99 clicks to get out of there. I got 99 clicks and Megs ain't one.
And Teletran ain't one.
Yeah. Oh, there. That makes way more sense. I got 99 Megs and 99 problems and Teletran won.
Well, and didn't you say like early on in the show that clicks are actually like, because like I always knew clicks to be like another like a unit of distance from that's used in the military, like a kilometer. A click's another word for a kilometer, and you were like, no, I looked it up, and it's actually like an amount of time.
Yes, in Beast Wars and presumably all of Transformers, it's an amount of time, not a distance.
Yeah. Well, and
anybody listening, it's kind of slang for people to say clicks instead of kilometers.
Yeah. And common in the military because apparently, and this was something I found out doing some legitimate journalism for this show. Apparently, the U.S. military uses kilometers, not miles.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Just easier to calculate.
Huh. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Today I learned, except I actually learned that months ago.
And clicks are seconds in Beast Wars for anyone listening.
Is it?
Approximately. It's not exactly. Remember, I looked this up at one point.
I thought a click. Didn't you? I think you said like a click was like 10 minutes or something like that.
Was this one of the ones with two definitions?
Probably.
Was it?
How much is a cycle?
Okay, hold.
An entire Saturday afternoon wasted.
Oh right, click is KLIK on this show. Here we go. A nanoclick. Oh, was I thinking of nanoclicks?
I have no idea.
Nanoclicks are seconds.
Okay, so a click.
Wait, so 100 nanoclicks is about 1.5 minutes, which makes sense because 90 seconds is 1.5 minutes. But
where are you looking?
I am on tfwiki.net.
Okay, that's where I went to. If you hadn't gone there, I was going to suggest going to, because that's kind of that's my like go-to. Like I love TF Wiki. That's my go-to place for.
And a click is 1.2 minutes. And a nanoclick is about a second.
1.2. Used idiomatically like. Oh no, never mind. That's not the right one. Defined for use in the IDW universe by Simon Furman in a forum post. The term first appeared as a unit of distance in the Marvel UK story City of Fear. So Simon Furman is a pretty prolific Transformers comics writer, and indeed he actually wrote the final 2 episodes of this show.
Oh, rad!
And he wrote the 2006 IDW Beast Wars comic, Beast Wars: The Gathering.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
he wrote the final 2 episodes, huh?
He did, yeah. So the I guess he's kind of in a sure. Like his definition of click, I'll go with it. So 1.2 minutes.
It's about 1 click is about 1.2 minutes. Yeah, and he sets it for what do they
100
send this for?
clicks.
100 clicks or 100 nano clicks?
I'm pretty sure he said clicks. I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, I'm checking it
Warnings.
out too.
Systems
People
overload.
listening, this is
One-
probably like really boring, but
100 clicks to core implosion.
so an hour and a half, this bitch will go off.
Yeah.
Oops.
Wow.
I guess they didn't keep their. Okay, to be fair, listeners, like the show's terrible at keeping its own continuity. Sometimes, like Megatron will loathe them spending an entire afternoon working on like a device.
Yeah.
He really says 100 clicks. Huh. I think they meant nano clicks because it feels like 100 seconds, right? No,
Yeah, but 100 seconds is only a minute and a half, and
that's not enough either.
it's not enough, because we've still got like, I don't know, like six minutes give or take of the episode, and like there's a big battle that goes on between.
Maybe more time goes off the in bit. Whatever. Yeah, that's either way too short or way too long. Right?
I'm just gonna say that in this context, he sets it for like 10 minutes.
Let's say it's 10 minutes.
That seems like the right amount of time. Like it's it's long enough that some shit can go on, but it's short enough that there's urgency to it. Because like an hour and a half, it's like, okay, well, I guess hey, I gotta we gotta defuse this core overload. But hey, do you mind grabbing me a cup of coffee and while we're at it? And
it's a very sci-fi thing. You need it to be a short amount of time so people freak out, but long enough that you can escape.
Yeah. And
but short enough that it's difficult to go back through the ship to put it back to normal.
And no matter how long it takes, invariably the bomb is always defused with like 1 second to go.
Yes.
Which indeed it is in this show, and in every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where they set the auto-destruct sequence. Which they do
indeed,
a lot.
Indeed, one of my favorite movies, Galaxy Quest, directly rips on this trope.
Yeah.
Of self-destructs stopping at the last 1 second or two.
Yeah.
Because they like restore the core or whatever, and they're like, "Sweet, we did it!" And there's like 20 seconds left or something.
Wasn't the device in that movie called the Omega 13?
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in years. Hey, that movie came out in 1999 too.
Did it?
Yeah, came out on Christmas Day in 1999.
Amazing. Came out on Christmas Day? Wow.
Yep. Greatest year of film, at least in our lifetimes, I think.
Yeah. Prove us wrong.
Yep.
Oh, there was that one year when like E.T. came out.
Oh, that wasn't within our lifetimes though.
Right.
That was 82.
Right. What was it? The Thing, E.T.
and Blade Runner.
Runner
all came out like the same weekend.
So what do we got going here? Black Arachnia locks like a brother playing like a sister playing a prank on a brother. She locks Inferno outside.
Yeah.
And he's just pounding on the door, and she turns the auto guns on.
Yeah, the only worse thing than a salesman is a pushy Predacon.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we get Teletran 1's voice saying 50 clicks until explosion.
So all of that took 5 minutes, apparently.
Yeah.
And a Tarantulas is outside of the... Considering he set the ship to explode, he's walking very leisurely away from it.
One might expect some hustle in his step. Like usually when there's a self-destruct thing initiated, people are running.
I love it on the joke of like auto destruct sequences. I love in Spaceballs when they set the
Oh.
auto destruct sequence is set, and they're like, oh, we can't turn it off. Attention, all personnel, abandon ship, and they all just start panicking. It's not like in Star Trek or whatever where they're like in a very like hurried but orderly fashion, like getting to like escape pods and shuttlecrafts and everything. In Spaceballs,
They're
everyone's just
bumbling
panicking
over each other. People are knocking things over, immediately tripping.
Yeah, which is, oh, I love it because that's how that would actually go down. People would just be like, ah.
I need to rewatch those two. I argue that they're timeless,
Spaceballs,
especially Spaceballs. But
Spaceballs and Galaxy Quest.
I think maybe Galaxy Quest might age, but I really like it. But Spaceballs it's great.
Yeah, because other than some pop culture references, there's nothing particularly dated about that film.
No.
It's like,
And Star Wars is so prevalent that a 15-year-old now is going to understand all of the Star Wars references.
pretty much, yeah.
Right.
And yeah, there's like hell, there's even like a joke about Transformers in Spaceballs, and like even that'll still play nowadays.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean Transformers is more popular now than it's ever been.
And if anything, it has that like nostalgia cool factor when they like put the VHS in and like fast forward to of Spaceballs and fast forward to
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Go back to then. Why? When? Now. Now? Yes, now. We can't. Why? We just missed it. When? Just now.
Right.
When will then be now? Soon. How soon? Fuck.
Man, Rick, what a gem, Rick Moranis.
Yeah, and props to him too. He quit acting just to focus on raising his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, after his wife died.
None of this Honey, I Shrunk the Kids bullshit. Honey, I looked after the kids. Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He
speaking
had
of
enough money. He can retire, right?
speaking of respect, a fucking
Oh boy.
savage dragon emerges from the lava. A red fire-breathing dragon. And it's motherfucking Megatron. Megatron, as if you're watching the video version, Megatron, just like this.
Literally a fucking metallic dragon.
Yeah. And Tarantulas is like, Megatron, you live.
By the pit. Yeah.
So one thing I'm wondering about Dragontron here is, you notice his teeth in robot mode?
I don't like that.
He looks like he got punched in the face.
He's
And
missing.
He's
He's
missing.
got braces, or
He's missing some teeth on the upper part of it. He has teeth like mine. His teeth are like broken and like misshapen. Like it's weird.
I thought maybe I wasn't paying attention enough, but yeah, the spaces in between his teeth, and it doesn't look cool.
Yeah, and like the teeth that he does have are like look broken and misshapen.
Oh,
Like I said, they're like my teeth.
yeah, I'm noticing that now.
If
And
it is
indeed,
if it isn't obvious, I kind of hate my teeth.
I've come to accept my teeth.
Well, I don't hate them enough to actually do anything about it, but like I don't like how they look. I have terrible teeth.
I've come to terms with my teeth, but what I am proud of is that I floss and I brush every day.
Same.
So my gum health is good, even if my teeth are all...
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so Megatron says some
He's a
weird...
literal fucking dragon.
Yeah. He says some weird shit to Tarantulas and is like, I can respect treachery, but like only if you do it properly or something like that.
Yeah, we'll come to that maybe. I can't remember. It's in the scene after or coming up, or did I miss it? I don't know. But yeah, he says something like, "I can respect treachery."
I can suffer your treachery, Lieutenant, but not your incompetence. And
Yeah.
then he chucks Tarantulas away and says, treachery requires no mistakes. Which...
Yeah, and then Tarantulas is like crawling out of the lava, and he's like, "Yes, Megatron, no mistakes."
And now he, like, it looks like the paint has been scorched off of him. Yeah.
I'm like, "That's it."
Yeah,
You get a slap on the wrist, and
that was weird. So Dragontron goes and confronts Optimal Optimus and Black Arachnia by literally saying, "Enter the dragon."
yeah. Did we skip how they defeated Quickstrike? Oh, it doesn't even matter. For some reason, Quickstrike was in the same room, and his fake robot that he's controlling Optimus with is hovering, right? So he can make fake footsteps and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and
it looks like it's attached to a terror board.
And he's trying to pin Black Arachnia between Optimus and his terror board.
Yeah.
And then they just collide. And it breaks and Optimus is fine.
Well,
and I'm like, I feel like there was a lot you could have done better there, Quickstrike.
Black Arachnia shoots the terror board out from underneath the dollar store Optimus body, and then he falls over, and then Optimus falls on top of him, and that severs the connection, I guess. Severing the dollar store optimal body from the terror board it was attached to, I guess, severed the connection.
Shouldn't he have just, I don't know, controlled Optimus from a safe distance?
You would think.
Well, he's not smart.
No, that's true, you know. I'm willing to forgive it because, like, the show,
because he's dumb.
The show makes no bones about the fact that that Quickstrike is dumb.
Yeah, so I'm okay with that. I'm like, you had literally all of the Maximals in the palm of your hand, and you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And indeed, Tarantulas didn't even give a shit about Quickstrike blowing up. He was going to blow up all of them and just walk off like a badass, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't give a shit about Quickstrike, the Maximals, like whatever. In fact, it almost seemed like he wanted everyone to be here when it exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, yeah, you were saying we get a confrontation.
Yeah, it's
he whips Tarantulas across the...
Yeah.
Yeah, enter the dragon.
Yeah, so basically Optimal Optimus and Dragontron like trade blows with one another. I'm not going to go into it in detail. They fight, they fly around, they shoot at each other. Dragontron breathes fire.
Optimus has like
his
machine gun fire.
His like machine gun in his jet mode. They like play chicken. They shoot at each other. Yada yada yada. Yeah, it's a good scene. Like it's a decent action sequence. Black Arachnia goes into the Ark and is trying to disarm Teletran 1, who is now down to 20 clicks to core implosion or explosion or whatever. And if you look at the computer monitor here, the countdown clock literally looks like a Stargate, complete with chevrons.
Hey, it does.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's not accident. They're a fan, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and this was 99, so Stargate SG-1 had already been on the air for a few years by this point.
We've come to the conclusion that they're sci-fi nerds.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and indeed, there was an episode, and this would have even been before SG-1 started. So just from the movie, there was an episode in like season 1, I think it was, of Reboot, where like a portal to the web is like literally a Stargate.
yep.
Yeah.
That
So-
was actually a Stargate.
yeah. So the mainframe guys like they like Stargate, they like Star Trek.
Yeah.
Don't see a lot of Star Wars references in mainframe shit, and I wonder if that's either because they're not big fans or they were afraid of getting sued.
Well, Trekkies tend to be adamant that Star Trek. I feel like that's like the divide. And indeed, there's a show I like called Undergrads, and there's a whole episode of Star Trek versus Star Wars, Gimpy's takeover.
I rewatched that recently. I actually found that a little cringeworthy. At this
It's
point
supposed
in my
to be
life.
cringeworthy. Like it's supposed to be cringeworthy, right? Like we're not supposed to think that Gimpy's cool.
Yeah. No, it's just like I just find that and like I've been very frank about this on like any podcast I've ever done, really. Like I love Star Trek. I loved Star Trek growing up. I am a much bigger fan of I think Star Trek's way better than Star Wars. Like of the two, like I like Star Trek way more than Star Wars, but I also like some Star Wars too. Like I don't feel like it has to be an either or type thing.
Traitor. All the really big fans of either or I've met have been just one, and they're either indifferent or straight up hate the other.
Yeah, which I don't know. I don't get it.
Nerd wars.
Nerd Wars.
So what's happening here is the two big boys are fighting. Like Black Arachnia is like hacking. There's like ones and zeros, and she's shooting eye lasers. And
Yeah, and as the countdown clock gets down to 1 click remaining.
This is why I thought it was seconds. It goes 8 clicks remaining. 5, 4, 3. Right? So that's why I thought it was seconds.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it's not even consistent within the episode.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's like it says 100 clicks, but that was not 90 seconds.
No.
Unless we're to believe that as it shows other scenes happening, they're all happening simultaneously.
But then Tarantulas is just leisurely, like, strolling away from the Ark.
Cool guys don't look at explosions, man. I don't know.
Not even when they create time storms, no.
Oh, that's a good point. Presumably, this would create a fucking crazy time storm.
Yeah, probably an even bigger one than the last time.
I think that is another trope in of itself. Like on Dragon Ball Z. Oh, the planet will explode in 5 minutes. But that actually means 5 episodes. Right? Like,
Yeah.
it's that whole like, oh, it's going to blow in 90 seconds. But then there's still 20 minutes left of the TV show. You're watching?
It's gonna blow.
So yeah, the trope. Black Arachnia stops it at 1 second, but she doesn't know that she did it. She like gets scared and like blocks her face.
Yeah.
IntelliTrans 1 is like core implosion aborted. All systems normal. Have a nice day. And I'm like, oh, you too.
We find out that Dragontron in robot mode. So his dragon head is one of his arms now.
Hey, his teeth are normal again. Oh, I guess it was just that one scene.
Oh no, they go back.
Oh.
If you look at on Tubi, 20 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah, because when he was walking up before he used his freeze way. Oh, by the way, listeners, he has a dragon attack that shoots fire and a dragon attack that shoots ice.
Yeah.
A
That's what I was,
song of ice and fire.
yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up when I started mentioning how one of his arms is his dragon head, which he can
Better than the floppy thing he had before.
yeah, the dick laser.
Hey, his fucked up teeth are bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you think you could stand against the fury of both Megatrons?
Which fair, I get it, but then like as soon as the other Maximals show up, like he tucks his tail between his legs and runs away pretty easily. And it's like, oh, so I guess
He
6 of them.
always does that.
So I'm like, oh, I guess 6 of them can stand against the power of both Megatrons.
But like, they are in a league of their own. Optimus and Megatron now.
Yeah.
Like, Optimus is huge.
Yeah.
He's mostly bulletproof too.
Yeah.
We've only ever seen like cyber venom or very large explosions affect him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny that like Rhinox comes out, whom we haven't seen all episode, and the others, and they start like shooting. He doesn't even really take any damage. He does this so much. This is like the 10th time he's done this on the show, where he goes, it seems I must make a hasty retreat until next time. And I'm like, you haven't even been hit yet, dog.
Yeah. It's like
You
you're
have
not
the
even,
time to finish him off.
you're not even gonna try. You've just like essentially like
You
gone
went through
Super
hell.
Saiyan.
You just like came back from the depths of hell and were reborn as a dragon.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna peace out now?
Yeah, like I would have liked to have actually seen Dragontron like completely like fuck shit up here.
Fight all of them.
Yeah. And win.
Yeah,
Or-
and go, I don't even need to kill Optimus Prime anymore. I like being the dragon in this mountain. Bring to me your gold.
Yeah. So
So he pieces out.
yeah, he pieces out, he flies away through the top of the volcano.
And he says, but beware, the dragon's wrath. So corny.
yeah.
Now, you know how I usually hate it when people talk in their, like, beast mode?
Yeah.
I don't hate the animation of him talking with his dragon head.
No, it's good. I like it.
I thought it would be like Uncanny Valley, like Depth Charge's Manta Ray, or like when Optimus is in a jet and he's like talking and like moving his hands.
Yeah.
It's fine. When he's talking as a dragon, it looks fine.
Yeah, the only ones that I don't like is I don't like Optimal Jetman with his like moving his arms and hands around. It's like no, if you're going to be in jet mode, like commit to that. Like you don't have limbs that move in this form.
I always find it weird when he's in his jet form that his feet are just behind him. Just like it's like beast mode feet
Yeah.
are just in the back, and I'm like, no, go full jet, man.
Like I have a toy of Optimal Optimus, but it's such a bizarre like miasma of ideas. I'm like
It is, isn't it?
Like who the fuck designed that? It's
Doesn't-
I mean, he's kind of cool looking in robot mode, and like I can even get behind him in beast mode, but like I don't like the jet, and I don't like the like weird like car thing that he has.
I completely forgot. Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
Like
He has a car, and
mode.
his like hands are just like in front, like holding the front wheel, kind of like the Bat Cycle in the
Tumbler.
Dark Knight.
Cycle thing, yeah.
Yeah, the Bat Pod. That was the name of it. The Bat Pod.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like his vehicle modes.
Yeah. Robot mode's cool. Beast mode's all right. Don't like the vehicle modes, and he spends most of his time in the show in that fucking jet mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, who the hell who the hell designed this figure? I would like to know and ask them like, what the hell were you thinking?
The guy would probably answer like, man, they wanted like 4 forms. What do you want from me?
I did the best I could. They wanted like 4 forms, and it was only going to be a $20 figure. For fuck's sake, what do you want from me?
I had like a month to make 3D render and design this thing, man. Yeah. So what does Optimal say here? He's like, Megatron's more dangerous than ever, and now it's more important than ever for us to win this war. And the Beast Wars once and for all.
And soon. And then Megatron like flies into the camera. And
says, I'm a dragon.
I am Dragon Man. Hear me roar. Nice. Yeah, so that's been episode 10 of season 3 of Beast Wars, Master Blaster. Here on Too Much Energon, we rate episodes on the Too Much Energon scale, which ranges from not enough Energon to sufficient amount of Energon to too much Energon. Too much Energon. It's basically
much Energon.
It's basically bad, okay, good.
Yeah.
So Cal, what are you rating Master Blaster on the Too Much Energon scale?
Rewatching it, letting some things go. There was 2 points of conflict that a lot of the Maximals probably were unaware of. The 2 points of conflict were, of course, Megatron becoming a dragon, but also Tarantulas' treachery.
Mm-hmm.
So that gets points from me. At first, when I first watched this, I was like, man, like, this show is just Digimon now. Like, they're just evolving into, or Pokemon, they're just changing into digital monsters to save the digital world. Like, I was like, they have so many forms. I don't know if I like it. And I went back into it and I watched it with you and I'm like, okay, well, what about this? And there's not that many inconsistencies. Taking over Optimus thing was like a side story rather than the main focus. Like, I feel like that should have been, like, out of all the people, Quickstrike? Megatron trusted Quickstrike. Your most incompetent, like quickest to violent, like, not anyone else, but it's like, well, none of them, they're all idiots.
Yeah.
Can't put Waspinator in, he can't put Quickstrike in, and he can't put Inferno in it. None of them can do an Optimus impression. Quickstrike's literally the best they had. But then I'm like, why wouldn't they put Tarantulas in it?
Perhaps Megatron doesn't trust Tarantulas enough. But then
indeed, yeah. So I feel like the Predacons really squandered a really powerful, like, move.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a little confused why Megatron didn't go and shoot Optimus first. Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
I thought that was his whole goal in the first place. Maybe he was going to do that after he
got his upgrade,
merged.
yeah.
After he got his upgrade, yeah. Let's go with that. So you know what? Forgiving all the Digi forms and all that stuff, like, it still moves up because it's moving the plot. Tarantulas making that move, I presume he's not a Predacon anymore. Or is it one of those things where, oh, you scamp, you tried to betray me, but come on back, like Terrorsaur always did? I hope not. But he made a big move. You know what? I think it just hits too much Energon for me. I'm giving it too much Energon.
Nice.
I didn't like it at first, but at least it's shameless. And you know what? I really didn't fucking like the dragon and his lines. Enter the dragon.
I like his form. I like the dragon form. All of the
but
like,
I kind of like his form now.
All of the like the dragon lines that Megatron was spouting was just like, dude.
It's very Megatron like.
It is, yeah.
He's a cheesy, like, dramatic, like, motherfucker. So I like it. It grows on me. And talking about it and figuring it out, I like it. Too much Energon.
It's also getting a too much energon from me. I found this episode extremely enjoyable. I think it might actually be my favorite episode of season 3 thus far. Maybe second. I think my favorite episode of season 3 so far is still Optimal Situation, but I think this might be my second favorite now. I really like Megatron's.
Yes.
I really like Megatron's new form.
Except the teeth.
Except the teeth, but even that's kind of inconsistent.
Yeah, sometimes he's got normal Megatron rows
Yeah.
of teeth, and then another shot, he's missing them.
The battle between Dragantron and Optimal Optimus is I glossed over it, but it's a pretty good fight sequence.
It is, yeah. The choreography.
I love the reveal of Dragon Megatron with the head like slowly like rising from the lava.
The only thing I didn't like about that is that the camera cut to a different angle very quickly, and it was too close to the model. I understand they wanted to get nice and close and show his scales and everything, but I felt like it needed to back up like 5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was really close up, and I was like, no, I want to see his silhouette. I want to see his whole body coming out of the lava, not just up close. But it's a really cool reveal, and it's gratifying that he came out of there right as like Tarantulas was strolling by. Oh, only 30 more clicks. Oh, better pick up the pace.
But yeah, no, it's I had a lot of fun with this one. So too much energon for me.
Yeah.
So unanimous, too much energon.
Unanimous. Good.
So that's been episode 44 of Too Much Energon. We'll be back next week with episode 45, where we will be covering the 50th episode overall of Beast Wars, Other Victories.
Hmm.
And then the week after that, we'll be covering the 2-part series finale, Nemesis, part 1 and 2. So
I'm so... it's hard for me to believe that this is wrapping up so soon.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom. It doesn't feel like there's enough time to only have like one 2-parter, but like 3 episodes left.
I know, right?
How could they possibly wrap it up in that time?
Well,
It feels half mid-season. That's the feel right now. It feels mid-season.
Well, and I think, too, like, what's kind of set the precedence was season 1 was 26 episodes, but seasons 2 and 3 have only been 13 apiece.
That's why it feels mid-season.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, as far as the plot advancing, I felt like season 2 kind of fit and made sense. But there's been a lot of perplexing filler episodes that I didn't want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need 2 depth charge episodes, man.
In both season 2 and season 3, which we'll probably get into in the next few weeks here after we've wrapped up actually talking about the individual episodes. Best way to support the show: wherever you're listening to or watching this, give us a like, give us a 5-star rating, give us a subscribe.
Smash that bell, hit subscribe.
Yeah. Give
us a comment.
Any and all of the things. Subscribe to the Patreon. Every week you get to hear, for $5 and up, you get to hear bonus outtake audio of us talking about whatever. This week I talked about some run-ins.
Workplace violence.
Yes, actually workplace violence involving some unruly patrons at my workplace. Patrons, for lack of a better word. So go and check that out. It'll really help us out. Help us keep the lights on. If you want to follow us, you can follow the show on Twitter at Too Much Energon, or you can follow me on Twitter at Lasercomb, LAZORCOMB, and Cal, you are
NeoCal on Twitter, Neo_KAL. Like Superman.
If you want to send us an email, send it to toomuchenergon@outlook.com, or go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/toomuchenergon, or for the general Lasercomb podcast Facebook page, facebook.com/lasercomb, spelled the same way as I spelled it out for Twitter.
Laser comb.
Laser. Lasers in the movies are usually bad news.
Always.
We are running out of time here. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, so we are going to Amscray. I have been one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
And as always, I'm your other host, NeoCal.
And until next week, enter the dragon.
Beware the dragon's wrath.
Rah.
Rah.
Beast mode!